time, and you told me the African American parade in New York City.
Right.
So that was a tangible example.
Right. And if that's the best tangible example you could come up with, then y'all ain't doing shit, baby. And I know y'all ain't, because again, I used to be a Pan-Africanist. And what got me to stop being a Pan-Africanist is being around a bunch of different Africans and seeing that they couldn't get it together themselves, right? And so y'all Pan-Africanists are also very disingenuous, because you will sit your ass up here and talk about FBA all day, but Ivory Coast is up over there actively trying to undermine the Sahel states, and y'all don't say shit about it, right? Rwanda and one of the Congos was about to get to hacking each other, and y'all wasn't saying or doing shit about it, right? South Africa was just kicking out Nigerians, or trying to, rioting in the streets to get the Nigerians out, and y'all weren't doing or saying shit about it. Ghana was just rioting and kicking Nigerians out, and you niggas wasn't doing or saying shit about it. So miss me, Wall Street Willie, because y'all aren't about shit.
Now, can I cook?
Nigga, you got cooked.
And so the problem is we are just ignoring the fact that when we start having a real conversation, it ain't just a passing conversation. When we get into what their real ideology is, that's when all this information is coming out. When we have these conversations, the fact that people will still call an immigrant a tether after we already disclosed what a tether is and how we separate an immigrant from a tether, and they will still try to place everybody in the tether box. It shows that they want to keep it divided, because if we start actually separating them, say, no, this is an immigrant, this is my brother, versus you a tether, you are my enemy, they won't be able to infiltrate anymore. And that's why they want to keep this whole, we are all the same thing. We got the same color skin folk. No, absolutely not. We don't have the same ideology, the same philosophy. We don't want the same outcomes, and we going about it in two different ways. And you are going about it by attaching yourself to me and then destroying my movement from the inside instead of backing me up. You actually on the other people's side, like a person like Byron Donalds. He does not deserve to be a part of our community whatsoever. But if we go with the way how you doing it, Brownsville, he will be a part of our community, and he will destroy us from the inside. We are never going to get to the position of the power that we are looking for in the political world, because people like him is always going to be making backhanded deals behind our back.
Well, see, then that's
Now,
where we disagree, right? Hold on, Willie. I'm gonna say this real quick, right? Because, Cuzzo, I don't think that whoever you said that, whatever he is, I'm not saying he needs to be included. If he doesn't share our core values of the movement that we're trying to build, then he needs to be ostracized. He needs to be excluded, right? I'm with you there, right? For me,
so we just excluded the tethers.
It's not about to me, I think the movement is misguided, because we are excluding people just based on their family lineage. Like, let's say if you're
right, if it's a lineage, you have to be. Aren't we excluded from being Jamaican? I'm sorry to cut you off, but we're excluded from being Jamaican, correct?
Yes, but we don't live in Jamaica.
It doesn't matter. If we go over there, we're still going to be excluded from being Jamaican, right? And we can look at the Black Americans who done took their asses over to Africa and settled, and they are excluded from being Ghanaian or Tanzanian or Kenyan, right?
Or that recent hurricane, Diva. Don't forget that recent hurricane that happened in Jamaica. What they was telling us to do.
Right, stay away, get out of here.
Why y'all want to be like other countries so bad?
Right.
So can I ask you a question?
Shit baffles me.
In Ghana, two elderly sisters who had been living there for over 30 years were killed by Ghanaians over some land. They over there scamming the shit out of Black Americans and doing all types of other stuff, enacting violence against them. Several women. It was one point. This might have been maybe 2022. It was like 5 different Black women who had been murdered over there. They had relocated over there and had been deleted over there by the men. Look, and this is the thing. I think a lot of us really don't have enough experience with these people to know. But, and again, I love African people and I love Africa. But the colonial mindset is alive and well. And so that's the thing. Before you can welcome them in or join hands with them, you're gonna have to spend a lot of time undoing that, right? They aren't even aware of it. I was at the what's the guy, the Nkrumah museum, and they were talking. They have where his tomb is, and then his wife's tomb. His wife was an Egyptian, whiter woman, Arab, I guess. And so I asked them, the tour guide, how do y'all reconcile that he, in words was saying that he wanted to unite Africa, but then he went and chose some white woman as his wife, and they didn't even understand the question. What? Oh no, we don't mind that. Okay, dummies. Then go ahead. Right. Look, you have to. Okay, thank you, Young Riaz. Young Riaz says called post-colonial syndrome, and they got it bad. And so you have to undo that before you can do anything with them. The white man is God to them, right? Mm-hmm. When I was at the Vodun Festival, y'all know who Mami Wata is? Mami Wata is the Starbucks logo, right? That's Mami Wata. And I always was offended and said, hey, why did they make Mami Wata white? She's a black woman. And she's like a sea, she governs over the sea or whatever, and gives life.
She's the empress of the sea, right?
There we go. Okay, so my tour guide said, "Oh, she used to be black, but when the white people started coming to the Vodun Festival about a decade ago, they changed her white." He was like, well, if you come in 10 to 20 years, the people doing the Vodun is gonna be white people. Because they already had them dressed up in African garb with braids and shit in their hair. Y'all, I'm sorry. Yeah. Go there first before you try to join.
And not only that, I just want to because I think the part that Cousin Christians that literally call them tethers is separating and is a definition of what those people are and how they are detrimental to us as a movement, and us separating ourselves from the people that is holding us back is pivotal, so we can actually get things moving in the proper direction for the people that has the same kind of mindset. So it have immigrants that is going to be on our side. Also, we have the tethers that's going to be against us, and they use the fact that they have the same skin color to be a representation of us, and that is the dangerous part. And now we are separating them from attaching themselves to us as a people.
Yeah, and then we got to also understand we got no problem saying Chinese American. We got no problem saying Japanese American, European American. Soon as we say Foundation Black America, why are they doing this separation? Like, everybody say who they are in this country. It just seems like other black people typically want to attack us.
How do you go Chinese American, ex-American, and then go foundational Black American and instead of just saying Black American? You see how you did it yourself?
No.
Because they got
if there wasn't a difference between them, then you wouldn't have stated it.
The reason why is because they got other Black Americans that's not foundational, and they have a different.
And there's other Chinese that aren't foundational Chinese as well. There's plenty of
There's
Chinese.
no such thing as a foundational Chinese American.
All right, what do you? All right, so what is foundational?
See,
from the start of the country or during the era of slavery?
Again, so
the founding of the country or during the era. So prior to the founding.
Hold on. Stop with the disingenuous. When we try to make it literal, that's when we know we're not having an honest conversation. Foundational Black America stems from slavery. You cannot.
Steve just said before slavery. So what are you talking about?
Hold on. You cannot add anything extra to it. Once you start adding,
y'all don't even have your. And this is what Brownsville's talking about. No organization.
Nigga, you said before the founding of the country. That's what I said.
Exactly.
I didn't say before fucking slavery. Slavery existed before the founding of the country.
I meant before the end of slavery.
Okay, but that's not what you said.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay, and you up here trying to talk shit about us when you the motherfucker.
So what does it? That's great. What does it stem from? Is it before the founding of the country or any time during the slavery period?
So again, hold on. Okay. So again, stop trying to use foundational as a literal sense now.
Yeah, stop trying to define foundational. My bad.
I'm not trying to.
I'm making the mistake by trying to define a word. Yeah.
Exactly, because FBA is a whole term, foundational Black American. Now, when you try to separate each word, that's when you're not having an honest conversation, because when we put those three together, it means something. So you cannot just say, so what do foundational mean now? No, it means foundational Black American. It means that we have suffered something from slavery. That's what it means. And then also with the civil rights movement as well, to extend it even further. So you cannot put somebody else as a foundational anything, because now they are just grifting off of our movement, which they've been doing. And they did it off the civil rights movement as well. They try to act as if they didn't have, we don't see a bunch of Chinese people getting hosed down. We don't.
But see,
I'll give you here's the thing is that you don't know the history.
Let me just finish my
I said, but do y'all agree that everybody delineate?
Let me just finish up. The problem is they benefited off of us getting sprayed down and bit by dogs. So therefore now they can say, hey, yes, civil rights is a great thing, because they could benefit off of it. Now we're saying that is enough. This is our shit. Foundational Black American. You cannot separate the foundation. What do foundation? None of that, because it's already defined. The whole term is defined. So you cannot try to separate and take words out and find the etymology of the fucking word. What is black? Black means pale. Get the fuck out of here. We don't give a fuck about you breaking down what black actually means etymology wise. We don't care what you mean by what foundational means literally. It's a whole thing.
It's a talking point,
right? Yeah, that's what it is.
Can I cook?
It's performative.
And it's really sad because while I agree that we do need to have an eligibility argument in terms of reparations when we get there, but once again, y'all are pulling the cart before the horse, because we have to establish liability before we can even talk about eligibility, right? This is why I say y'all are misguided when it comes to this FBA movement. Y'all need structure. Y'all need organization. Y'all need core values. And here's the reason why I emphasize core values is this, right?